Before jealousy had a name, before obsession was something doctors could measure. There were people who loved so fiercely, so desperately. That love turned into a weapon sharper than any blade. This is the story of a woman whose heart became a battlefield. And the mother who paid the ultimate price. In psychology, there is a term, Adélie Syndrome, the dark, morbid obsession of one soul with another. But what happened in Sweden in 2008 was a nightmare that even psychologists struggled to comprehend. A young mother, Emma Jungstig, her 2 children, and a shadow from the past that refused to let love die. Emma was born in Stockholm in 1985. A simple home, a loving family, a childhood without warning signs of the horror waiting in her future. By 20, she was a mother of 2, Max and Saga. She and her husband Nicholas were young, hopeful, but unprepared for the weight of adult life. Their marriage fell apart, custody battles began, and stress filled the walls of every room Emma entered. But then, hope returned. She met Torgny Helberg, a calm, warm man who promised a new beginning. They planned a wedding. A new home. A new life. But far away, in the shadows, someone else was making plans too. Her name was Christina Schurer, Torgny's ex-girlfriend. Educated. Intelligent. And dangerously obsessed. After their breakup, Christina followed him, wrote him, begged him, lied to him. Even inventing a child that never existed. Her mind had become a maze of delusion, and Torgny was trapped inside it. When he chose Emma, something inside Christina shattered. It began like any normal evening. Emma made dinner. The children played. She chatted with her sister online, laughing, making plans. Then, 7:07 p.m. Her last message stopped mid-sentence. A knock on the door. A small figure dressed in black. No words, only the flash of a raised arm. And then darkness. When Torgny returned home, the door was unlocked. Inside, silence. A dreadful silence no home should ever hold. He found Emma first. Then Max. Then little Saga. All broken. All bleeding. All barely alive. He screamed their names until his voice cracked. At the hospital, doctors worked desperately. Max and Saga slipped away, tiny bodies unable to survive such cruelty. Emma, against all odds, lived. A medically induced coma became her shield. Her memory, wiped clean by trauma. But memories have a way of returning. And when she was finally strong enough to speak, the face she remembered was the face police feared all along. Christina entered the courtroom smiling. Laughing at photos of the crime scene. It wasn't insanity, it was pleasure. The court sentenced her to life in prison. No release. No second chance. Emma fainted when she saw her. Emma eventually rebuilt her life. She married Torgny in 2010. They have 2 children now. Children who grow up knowing they had an older brother and sister who watched them from above. This is not just a crime story. It is a story about obsession, survival, and a mother's unbroken spirit. If this story moved you, like, subscribe, and stay with the channel. Because every shadow has a story. And every story deserves to be remembered.
Even now, years later, the scars of that night remain. Not just on the body, but on the soul. Emma walks through life carrying the weight of loss, yet also the strength of survival. Every laughter of her children, every quiet moment of peace, is a triumph over darkness. Christina's shadow may have haunted them, but it could not steal their future. And in the quiet moments, when Emma holds her children close, she feels the presence of Max and Saga. Reminders that love, even when tested by the deepest cruelty, endures. This story is a warning and a lesson obsession can destroy, but courage, love, and resilience can rebuild. So remember, even in the darkest night, there is hope. And even when the unthinkable happens, the human spirit can rise again. If this story touched you, share it and keep the memory alive. Because every life, every tragedy deserves to be remembered.